Alright guys, just ignore the fact that I have not posted in like 5,000 years. Very big disclaimer, this video is not meant to be taken seriously. I do not agree with the things Daniel Larson has done or even said.
We need to stop wildfires in California.
If you clicked on this video, my guess is you already know a little thing or two about Daniel Larson, or at the very least recognized his face. As some know, Daniel doesn't have the cleanest of reputations, and you'll soon later find out why. But what makes Daniel different from the rest is he is, in my opinion, the king of lolcows. Even as time passes and eventually we all die, Daniel will still live on as the king of lolcows. For a very long time, if not even forever. But that begs a different question. What exactly is a lolcow? A lolcow is a person who consistently posts online or at the very least has a very ongoing presence on the internet for a period of time. As they post more and more, people get attached to their content, but all for the wrong reasons. Soon fans start to laugh and enjoy the content in ways that the lolcow themselves didn't intend on. As instead of laughing at a joke a lolcow might have made, the fans are rather laughing at the lolcow themselves. A great example of this, and a very tame one at that, is the 1980s gamer. The 1980s gamer is my goat and I love him, but unfortunately he fell into a blurry status of lolcow as signs of potential lolcow behavior started to appear more and more as he started to post on Instagram. However, the 1980s gamer is not considered a lolcow because he didn't respond to any of the trolling he was receiving, and he actually made a post saying he is no longer posting on Instagram, sadly ending his career on the app. Although good for him, I hope he is still very happy and doing the things he loves. In order to be considered a lolcow, you have to interact with the trolls trying to get a rise out of you, which in the 1980s gamer's case, he did not interact with the trolls. A great example of a lolcow responding to trolls has to be Nova Online, most notably the public protest incident that recently happened of July 26, which was fairly recent. At the time Nova was streaming when people started protesting outside of Nova's house. Instead of just ignoring it and just getting law enforcement involved, Nova just went outside and gave every troll the middle finger.
Someone's right outside of my property.
Shit-ish. Oh, shit-ish. There's here. Oh my goodness. Did you not hear about the takeover?
Can we come in?
Damn, Nova really has been on a streak recently. But anyways, those are the essential ingredients to making a lolcow: active posts, trolls, and interacting with the trolls. For most lolcows, they will be in this infinite loop of posting, defending their egos from the trolls via posting online about it, and the cycle repeats. Just as an FYI viewer, I do not condone trolling. In most cases, trolling is terrible depending on the circumstances, unless it's like EDP445 or Nova Online. And why is that, you may ask? It is because Daniel has mental illnesses that neither EDP445 or Nova Online has. As for those illnesses, I'll mention them later on in the video. If it wasn't for the trolls, Daniel would be in a much better place. The trolling was too much and needs to be addressed before I talk about these instances. The trolls completely ruined Daniel. Completely! So when I mention trolls in the video, don't expect angels. So just keep that in mind. Also, another viewer note, I'm not documenting Daniel for his mental breakdowns, not in the slightest. I would still love Daniel the same as I do now. Now, back to what I was saying. For most lolcows, they start off very tame, but Daniel instantly hit the wall running, and that is why Daniel is my... In early 2020, Daniel Larson started posting on TikTok, and he posted not just a little, but a lot from his everyday life. On July 14th, 2020, Daniel, for no fucking reason, would post a video announcing he would be running for president. Now that is my president. This video instantly shot him into stardom, and many people would start to cheer him on in the comments. The comments at this time also referred to Daniel as Mr. President.
We, the people, need to stand strong with open hearts. Come together as one. Create peace in this world. And that's how we, the people, will get stuff done. No more mass destruction. Peace. Peace for eternity. Peace for all. This is Daniel Larson for President 2024.
But Mr. President wasn't joking. He actually thought he could be president. He would continue posting small updates here and there. People began to watch our president more and more. Trolls early in Mr. President's career were already convincing him he could win the presidency. Our president's announcement was late, however, mainly because Joe Biden was already in office 6 months prior to his announcement. Also, at this time, in order to be president in the USA, you need to be over the age of 35, and Daniel was only 22 years old. Although this did not stop him from his political endeavors, as in early 2021, for no reason whatsoever, Daniel would post a video of himself doing jumping jacks while literally saying Black Lives Matter. This video actually got fairly popular during this time. I mean, come on, no other lolcow has had such a goal on their plate, and even then I haven't seen much of any lolcow even attempt to become president.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Although I could be wrong, Daniel Larson is the only example that I know of at the very least who tried to become president. With Daniel showing us his inspiring intellect and physical talent, there's only one thing we're glossing over right now. Daniel has... I actually haven't heard anyone talking about this in the YouTube community surrounding lolcows, but Daniel Larson is on another platform of existence when it comes to his aura. Most lolcows we are given are usually chud like an extremely egotistical like Nova Online, Chris Chan, Low Tier God, Cyrax, and iDubbbz to name a few. But Daniel doesn't seem to have a lot of that egotistical personality. Yes, he will have his outbursts, but I don't really see Daniel having such a big ego in comparison to most other lolcows. Yes, I know some people will be quick to point out that Daniel Larson has his egotistical moments, but I don't really think they count because Daniel is clearly having an episode when he gets super egotistical. We will get to that later. Now, Daniel doesn't have any Chad aura or anything along the lines of that, but his aura is so unique that it needs its own specific chapter. Let's review a well-known clip of Daniel Larson to dissect this. Very often, Daniel will start off his vlogs by saying,
Hello, this is Daniel Larson.
or hello everybody, a bunch of times. It almost became like an intro to his daily TikToks. Now, after Daniel would say these things, you'll notice very quickly that Daniel's notification sound effects are always on.
I just got in trouble with my probation officer for not following the probation rules.
But unfortunately, Daniel will turn these off later in his videos. Following this, Daniel will usually say something completely random or just out of pocket.
Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication. He said if it happens anymore, I will go to jail. Please help me, guys. I need your support.
Then, nearing the end of his videos, he will constantly talk about his fans' support. In this case, Daniel is looking for help, and in other videos, Daniel will be thanking his fans for their support. This has been the most consistent format Daniel will use in his vlogs as many of his other videos. Just skip this format. Many of his videos just skip this format entirely though. I don't know why. On another note, Daniel has the best quotes out of every single lolcow ever. I just woke up.
I just woke up.
And this is a message to Quandale Dingle.
This is a message to Quandale Dingle. Please stop messaging me. Go to hell.
But this guy is still a goldmine. My personal favorite quotes are, "There's currently a celebrity in the hospital. They are doxing us. We are currently homeless." And emergency, emergency. I will give so much more context to these quotes later, but these are genuinely the best quotes from almost any lolcow I've ever seen. The only person who comes close to this in my opinion is Tammy Hole. Just for some needed context, in 2021 and in early 2022, Daniel would spend his time being homeless after being kicked out by his caretakers. But with all of these beautiful quotes being thrown around, they aren't just for show. Daniel has a very unique way with words that I haven't mentioned yet. You'll have to listen to Daniel's. Daniel actually makes music, which has been his main passion ever since making content. In comparison to lolcows though, Daniel has one song that you can actually listen to that won't make your ears bleed. And I'm not going to lie, it's been stuck in my head ever since writing the script for this video. This is Roaring Thunder by Daniel Larson, released in May of 2021. You yourself can find many of Daniel's songs on Spotify and many other streaming platforms. Daniel's music ranges from rap to pop, and honest to God, his rap is god-awful and I can barely listen to it. If you look closer into Daniel's music catalog, you'll find a song called STD Soaps. No joke. I'm assuming Daniel made this song because one of his trolls convinced him to, but speaking of, now this is when Daniel becomes a little bit more like the lolcow I described in the beginning of this video. As I said earlier, trolls are a part of every lolcow's diet. Starting off very tame, trolls had convinced Daniel he had been accepted to UCLA in January of 2024. He would then attend many classes and debates. During his time, he would learn the history of ancient Texas and the first rulers of ancient civilizations. Although none of it was true and clearly fake.
Happens to be in Texas is the Temple of Quantaris III. This is a pyramid that was constructed 2,500 years ago in Texas. Obviously, in this picture, it's being preserved due to archaeological efforts by scientists. But this is a great example of the Temple of Quantaris in Texas. I believe it's located 5 miles from El Paso currently, but yet again, this is ancient history of its time. Now, the first king of ancient Texas, his name was Ashid Anfarad, and he was the first king. Now, that's important to remember because that will be on one of the quizzes that we have next week, right? So we see a lot of giants back in the day in ancient Texas, in the United States, that actually have roots to gigantism.
Daniel believed all of it. At least someone like Nova or iDubbbz would have figured out that this was a load of horse shit. This is the reason why Daniel is the king of lolcows, though. He believes almost everything he is told from his quote-unquote management. He will do whatever his management will tell him to, and most of the stuff this quote-unquote management tells them to do, many other lolcows would not listen to, and would clearly realize that this was just a troll. Next up, meet Flexburger, an infamous troll who pretended to be his management at the time. With this control over Daniel, Flexburger manipulated him into auditioning for an adult show on May 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Daniel wouldn't just audition to a private audience, but instead he auditioned to a more larger public audience via TikTok Live, where he would have his adult audition in front of everyone. Daniel would then be banned only to come back with an alt account claiming that he was hacked, although we can assume Daniel wasn't hacked and was rather manipulated. Although Daniel didn't learn from this, as he was manipulated once again to do more adult things, most notably with the toothbrush only a month later. This video then surfaced a year later, so the video was recorded a year prior to it being public. He actually recorded the video a month after doing the adult audition on TikTok Live, making sure there's no confusion there. And this video with the toothbrush would then surface onto the Daniel Larson subreddit. Now, Daniel wasn't just doing this for items, he wasn't doing this for money, he wasn't even doing this for fame. He was doing it for love. But who could Daniel Larson love so much that he would play with the toothbrush? Well, no other than Grace was a talent on America's Got Talent who won the talent show's 11th season in 2016. While the show was airing live, apparently Daniel's grandma told him he could do things like what Grace was doing on TV. Grace is like a singer-songwriter, so it kind of mixes into Daniel like wanting to be an artist and stuff. But what her grandma said clearly backfired, as rather than being interested in the talent show itself, Daniel became obsessed with Grace. At the time, Grace would have been 12 years old and Daniel would have been 18. Yikes. This fixation on Grace didn't become a problem until May of 2021, when trolls started to convince him he was in contact with Grace's team and management. This was when the trolls really took full control over Daniel, as 3 infamous instances would not have happened if it was not for the presence of Grace. Number 1 being many racial slur incidences, number 2 being the celebrity in the hospital incident, and number 3 being the fire alarm incident. As soon as trolls knew about Daniel Larson's obsession with Grace, they immediately began to use it against Daniel. As of early 2021, and as late as his arrest in 2024, more on that later, Daniel has always been manipulated by many trolls posing to be Grace. These things would only get worse as Daniel would start communicating with these trolls, and even in some cases, he would send nudes of himself to them. However, there have been many instances where Daniel's trolls will get him to have a meltdown over these fake messages. In some cases, Daniel will post videos of himself calling Grace racial slurs.
This message is to Grace. Grace is a fucking nigger.
Well, he thinks he is directly directing them towards the real Grace. He's actually not, and directing them towards the fake trolls that he thinks are Grace. So, when trolls in December of 2022 convinced Daniel that Grace was in the hospital, he started going around town telling everyone he could find that there was a celebrity in the hospital.
There's currently a celebrity in the hospital. We are asking that the information gets loose. Thank you, everyone. Please spread the message. There's currently a celebrity. There's currently a celebrity in the hospital. Please spread the news. There's currently a celebrity in the hospital. Please spread the news. Thank you so much for all of your support. Ah! Hello. There's currently a celebrity of the name of Grace Vanderwall that just passed away as of 6:30 tonight. We're asking that the message gets spread. Do you think you guys could spread the message through here? Grace Vanderwall.
Isn't she from ABT?
Yes.
She died?
She just died.
Stop it.
Yeah. Currently, I was actually supposed to do a collaboration with her.
Shut up.
And she just passed away. I was talking with her just as she died.
Shut up.
Yeah.
It better be fake news.
It's not.
Even at one point fully believing that she had died. Once Daniel found out that she had supposedly died, a troll would message him claiming that Daniel needs to carry on Grace's legacy. Then, once again, trolls on November 15th, 2023, would convince Daniel that he would meet with Grace Vanderwall and their management at an Olive Garden. Daniel was told that management would cover the bill, but at the time, Daniel was known to be a dine-and-dasher in the state of Colorado. When staff knew this, they told Daniel that unless he had someone to pay for his meal, he would not be served. And then Daniel went into a complete meltdown and started to have Daniel was diagnosed with schizophrenia. It is because of this many trolls were able to convince him to do things, and Daniel would just do it without thinking and convincing himself that what the trolls were saying were actually real. And in other cases, Daniel would just randomly do bullshit. He would just randomly say shit and completely believe what he was saying. There have been numerous cases of Daniel just saying random things and completely believing them without any proof of them being true, such as a very specific case with Daniel claiming that he is being followed. There have been many numerous documented cases of that, and there are also many documented cases of him believing that the person who is following him is coming to attack and hurt him. Even though none of this has been proven true, most of the time these episodes happen, you'll hear Daniel say emergency, emergency, as if he is a public announcement speaker trying to warn people of danger. Now, back to the Olive Garden incident, or the quote-unquote fire alarm incident. Trolls told Daniel that the manager was printing off his nude photos.
We have reason to believe that the documents that the manager was printing off is nude photos of me from a online troll website. Okay, I just got sent a picture of the police holding Grace to a car outside. I have full proof of Grace being assaulted. Coming in, pictures and everything. Okay, give me one more second. That's happening outside somewhere. I'm performing a citizen's arrest.
And in response to this, Daniel would convince himself that the FBI was outside and that they were going to shut down the Olive Garden over these apparent photos. Now, I don't know what Daniel was thinking at the time, but once the manager at the Olive Garden said she would get the police involved, Daniel decided to pull the fire alarm. Shortly afterwards, Daniel would leave the Olive
The
Garden.
guy with the curly hair that was sitting right next to me, right here, was undercover. Emergency, we need you.
Yeah, I guess
The funny part about it, though, is that even after figuring out how to turn the fire alarm off, the fire alarm lights that were flashing just continued to flash as Daniel started to leave. Now, unfortunately, these schizo episodes did not stop. They actually became an uncommon occurrence, but an occurrence nonetheless. Another example of this behavior can be famously seen in the Panera Bread incident of November of 23, when Daniel would just proceed to run into a Panera Bread under the impression that he was running for his life and that he was under attack. Although Daniel was perfectly fine in just having an episode, unfortunately for Daniel, though, things would only escalate as he was asked to leave the Panera Bread once he wouldn't order anything. Because, why would you go into a place and not order anything? At the time, Daniel was just trying to use a charging point and the Wi-Fi that was there. Daniel would then be seen legitimately screaming at the top of his lungs, saying very, very concerning things, while simultaneously punching himself in the face. After that, the staff called the police, and Daniel's attitude changed completely. Daniel was just trespassed from the property, and that was that. No more, no less.
Step back right now! Step back right now!
Daniel was just trespassed. Now, before this incident, Daniel Larson would provide us with another meltdown on December 12th of 2022, where Daniel was under the impression that he was in contact with Grace Vanderwall again, specifically Grace Vanderwall's team, even though it was clearly fake and made by trolls. Daniel proceeded to demand thousands of dollars from Bob, one of Daniel's infamous caretakers, for an apartment. Once Bob declined the request, Daniel would become enraged and actually would start to film the situation, during which he would actually start to hit himself. Daniel actually will hit himself very often, which is very sad to see. When I dug into this more, I learned that it is most likely a sensory overload triggered by his autism. It is also a result of untreated mental illness, is what I found out and looked into. But now back to the incident at hand. Daniel's violent actions would then be directed towards Bob at the time. Bob was driving. Yes, in a car, and Daniel assaulted him while he was driving. Once this began to happen, Bob had to safely stop while being attacked, and Daniel was forced out of the car, ending Bob and Daniel's relationship.
So what is it?
Get out!
I'm not gonna do it. Because I have my phone.
Get the fucking out of my car!
Okay, don't fucking grab me.
You want me to break your fucking arm?
If you break my arm,
Then get the fuck out of my car!
Okay, then let go of me, fucker. If you fucking hit me, nigger. Holy fuck, where did my phone go? Where did my fucking phone go? Oh, you are hitting me!
You're hitting me! God damn you!
You hit me first, bitch!
Get out of my car!
You hit me first! I'm not playing these games with you! Holy fucking hell, bitch! Don't grab me like that! Don't fucking grab me!
Quit hitting me!
You hit me! Ow! Fucking!
Get away from my car!
Holy fucking hell! You ran over me! Fucker! Fucker nigger! You fucking ran over me, fucker!
Well, you might think after all of that, Daniel has made himself and his name the top lolcow of all time. But Daniel clearly wanted to be the best of the best, apparently. And to put it simply, Daniel has a very unique way of... When Daniel doesn't have anybody to talk to or personally message, he will go onto whatever platform he likes and he will start posting videos of himself begging for people to respond back to him, or at least, very minimum, contact him. This really sets him far apart from the rest, as he will literally beg and shove every little detail into these clips as if they were private DMs. Us, as the viewers, are legit watching him talk to a wall and leak information on certain topics that nobody outside of Daniel's circle should really know about.
Emergency. Emergency. Josh, Jay, Vanderwall family, please look at my latest YouTube. Please look at my latest YouTube. I am fighting, but this is my only source of contact, and to know that right now that you actually get it. Please message me. Please message me now.
Like, damn, I didn't really need to know any of that, but what you as the viewer need to know is the final thing that Daniel has above the rest of the lolcows, and that is... If you think of lolcows that have been arrested, most cases are after the first offense. Examples of this are Cyrax for assault, Chris Chan for incest, and Boogie2988 for aggravated assault. But Daniel could not go down easy. How many offenses do you think he has? 1? 2? Even 3? No, not even close. Daniel has racked up roughly 11 offenses, 6 of which are federal. Yes, Daniel is in jail and will probably be there for a while, but why is he in jail, you may ask? Well, Danny said that he was going to bomb the White House. Yep, that's what really got him into trouble.
This message is to Grace. Grace is a fucking nigger and a hater, and I will always hate her now because of what she did. And yes, I will bomb the White House. I will fucking bomb the White House. I will fucking bomb every single police station in the entire US. And Grace told me to make this video.
Train to Union Station departing in 1 minute.
Not for dining and dashing, not for trespassing, not for destroying property and putting literal holes in the caretaker's houses that he would stay at, not for skipping court. No, it was for threatening to bomb the White House. Apparently, if you add all of these counts together and maximize the years sent to them, it comes out to be roughly 65 years in prison. So, what now, you may ask? Is it over? Is Daniel's career done? And my answer would actually be no. As for this chapter's name, Daniel has the craziest plot armor of all time. I feel as if God truly played a part in this because Daniel should be locked up forever at this rate. But for some unspeakable reason, Daniel only pled guilty to 1 count through a plea deal. Daniel will be charged with count 6, which is about interstate communication threats. I'm not into law very much, and I have no idea what Daniel exactly did to earn this other than to threaten to bomb buildings and attack a federal officer over a state line. The maximum penalty to this offense, however, is 5 years in federal prison. But because Daniel is Daniel, he has spent the last 808 days in federal prison at the time of writing the script. And his time already spent will be counted as time served. Whatever his sentencing comes out to be, those 808 days is about 2.2 years. So that means Daniel has already spent about half of the maximum sentence. No other lolcow has gotten this lucky ever. Daniel is a serial lawbreaker in comparison to many other lolcows, and the dude is going to get out in less than 2.3 years. But, holy fucking shit! Holy fucking shit! Daniel is free! Daniel's a free man as of 7/21/2026. Sorry, I wouldn't have written a lot about Daniel's jail time if it wasn't for the fact that I was writing the majority of the script 5 days ago. But because of today, because it's July 21st, 2026, Daniel got off on a plea deal, and he's a free man as of today. He's free, kind of. here are the details. Daniel got off on a plea deal and apparently gained somewhere between 20 and 30 pounds, according to witnesses that were there. Daniel is supposed to spend 2 years of probation, during which he cannot have a phone password. His phone will be monitored, and he is also signed to a caretaker automatically that will be paid for. And this said caretaker is supposed to pick him up from the jail sometime soon, or if I'm assuming maybe the caretaker already picked him up. I'm not sure. It's literally 10 p.m. and the announcement was made like 6 hours ago. Also, other details, he will be randomly drug tested, and he will also be forced onto medication to help with his mental illnesses. So, not only are we getting Danny back, we might get him back mentally healthier. Maybe he will realize that Grace was never a real thing. Maybe he might fit into society a little bit better. But everything is still to come. I have a strong feeling, though, that Daniel will fall back into his delusions, as he did numerous times with different caretakers, and nothing lasts forever, you know. But hopefully this time might be the last time we see Daniel in a negative spotlight. Maybe Daniel can change for the better, and I hope you can forgive and hope the same way I do. Now, returning to the original chapter of what makes a good lolcow, Daniel fits all the categories much better than any other lolcow I've ever watched. But why do I personally think Daniel is the king of lolcows? Number one, I can watch his content even when he's not having a mental breakdown. I would still find myself watching Daniel talk about his normal everyday life and things he does every day, but in comparison to legit everyone else I know, I can barely watch Nova Online talk about his food, Chris Chan talk about his Sonichu and Quickville, Low Tier God get upset over another Street Fighter match he just lost to, Tammy Hall's stare, just Tammy Hall staring into my goddamn soul, and listen to Faithful Sheriff talk about religion. I genuinely dislike going out of my way to consume that type of content unless it is documented by specific YouTubers like Kiwi Tapes or Turkey Tom, to name a few people that inspired me to also make this video. Unlike Daniel, though, it is extremely and genuinely awesome to see him be happy for himself, all allegations aside, and I am happy to actually watch his everyday content. He is just so oblivious, and that is my number 2 reason. Daniel cannot tell the difference between troll and friend. It is so sad to see that happen, but that's what makes Daniel an amazing lolcow. I'm assuming as soon as someone posing to be Grace shows up at Daniel's doorstep or DMs, Daniel will just instantly fall for it. Number 3, Daniel makes decent music. Yes, most of his music sucks, but compared to lolcows like Chris Chan and Cyrax, you should be giving Daniel a Grammy. Number 4, President. I don't think I need to explain this one as much. I just love the fact that Daniel wanted to be president. And number 5, you can never stop Daniel. Daniel is like an unstoppable force. He has not yet met that unmovable object, because Daniel is that unstoppable force. I mean, out of anyone I've watched in the past few years, Daniel has the most insane luck out of every single lolcow. Daniel should have been in a mental hospital the day he started going crazy in 2021, but I have no idea how Daniel wasn't caught or at least charged. But holy shit, he is out of jail. Daniel actually served a similar sentence to that of Chris Chan when he got arrested for incest, and that was it. No more charges against Chris Chan, yet Daniel served around the same amount of time he did for 11 offenses. And number 6, what is next? You know, like with Daniel's spotlight back onto him, like there's no way he wouldn't create more content for us to watch. I mean, Daniel was literally glued to his phone ever since 2021, and I bet he is begging to receive another one. So, as more lolcows just fall out, Daniel might actually be making a small comeback. With this in mind, though, unfortunately Daniel's old phone will be destroyed. It was a court order given, I recently found that out. So all of his cool notification sound effects might sadly not reappear. I'm praying, though, that he gets a phone with silly notification sound effects, though, if he does start posting again. Just praying. Well, I do thank you guys a lot for watching this video if you've made it this far and learning about why Daniel is my favorite lolcow. Also remember, Daniel should not be messed with and only observed from a distance. And much love. Signing off. Thank you all for your support. Thank you.